Oh, we're back.
All right, everyone. We're back. This is going to be a much different episode than episodes that we have done in the past. For one, well, there are several reasons for that, but it's that time of year again. Not the holidays.
March Madness.
Yep, this is our March Madness episode, so if you've made a bracket, congratulations. If your bracket is busted by the time you're listening to this, congratulations as well. Ours probably will be too. Or we'll just somehow, gigabrain it in, but that's doubtful. Nolan, do you want to tell us where you're recording from?
I am coming to you live from my place of work, the old Juniata Brewing Company.
Love that. And I am sick. Yeah, have sinus infection, so it's gonna be a different episode. Not only because we're not talking about movies or shows or anything, but
we're talking to you about the art of gambling, essentially. So it is an art. There's an art form to selecting a bracket. We're gonna walk you through. We're gonna make a bracket together. So we're gonna argue. We're gonna fight. We're going to come up with some really bad picks, I think, because this is not going to be the mathematical analysis necessarily. This is going to be a combination of artful basketball teams, historic revisionism.
Qualitative analysis,
yeah,
with some quantitative.
A little bit. Like some teams, if I just don't like the name, they're not going on. Like, I'm going to be real. It's going to be really tough for Oral Roberts to move onward. Mainly because they open up with a game against Duke. But so yeah, we're gonna make this a March Madness, a Art Brothers Fisher podcast collaborative bracket.
Let's do it. So, you want to start with the South?
Yes. So, yeah, 16 teams per bracket. Technically, there's some play-in games, but we're going to kind of ignore those for now. For those of you unfamiliar with March Madness, it is just the men's college basketball. It occurs with the women's as well, but the men's college basketball is the more popular format. 68 teams are selected by a committee of trust fund kids, rich elites, people like Condoleezza Rice, heads of state, heads of companies, the NCAA, basically, that's what they are. They select 68 teams with 8 teams playing for the Final Four spots, so there are some weird play-in games they've added in more recent years, but they come into a big tournament of 64 teams, single elimination. The winner is the champion. I don't know what the prize actually is. There's a huge prize pool for having the best bracket in the country. I know that. If you submit a bracket on ESPN.com, you get money if you do well. If you do it through CBS Sports, whatever website you use, there's always a chance to win money. You can also gamble. I don't do any sports gambling. I'm sure there are lots of ways, and I know for a fact that sports gambling sponsors tons and tons of not only podcasts, but sports programs, radio shows. ESPN is probably the only major sports network that is not directly sponsored by gambling.
Well, they're nice and clean because of
Disney.
Clean Disney.
Yeah. All right. So with no further preamble, let's get into this here. So the first game is between the number 1 overall seed, Alabama, against one of 2 teams who have to play in. Now, in the entire history of this tournament, there's only ever been one number 1 seed overall that lost their opening game. They're not number 1 seed overall, number 1 seed at all.
Duke?
No, it was Virginia several years ago. The frauds themselves.
The frauds.
Yeah. So it's basically an auto pick, the 1 seed every time. So I'm actually going to go through and pick that for every bracket, just to get it out of the way.
Yeah, every division or side, however you want to call it.
Yeah, so that would be Purdue is another 1 seed playing against a team that has to play in. So them against a mystery team. So that's Purdue and Alabama both advancing. Kansas is playing Howard. Going to pick Kansas there every time. And that should be Houston and Northern Kentucky. So those are 4 teams that I'm automatically putting on. If either 4 of them lose, it will be a massive historic upset. Sports bettors will lose tens of millions of dollars, so it's basically a sure thing.
Yeah, and I root for the 16 seed every time. You just have to.
Chaos is a ladder after all.
Kansas is somehow still a 1 seed despite getting drubbed.
Yeah, well, the committee doesn't really care about how well good teams do in conference championship play. They care about how bad teams like Penn State do in conference championship play. But we'll get to Penn State shortly.
All right, second game, Maryland, West Virginia.
Yeah, so Maryland, West Virginia. These 2 teams are very different, and they're not evenly matched. This is the first major mismatch of the tournament. Maryland is a middle-of-the-pack Big Ten team. On the whole, they did okay in Big Ten play, which basically means, Big Ten's one of the main conferences. To do well in the Big Ten usually means that you're one of the best teams in the country. Middle-of-the-road teams could be a ranked team, could just be trash that happened to escape. But on the whole, Maryland is a more complete team. They play a more complete game. West Virginia has several more losses than they do. And they're one of those teams that does not play well from behind, which in general is a bad marker of advancing in the tournament.
Yeah. Is Bob Huggins' team gonna... Is it Bob? I don't remember. I just remember Huggins as the coach.
I don't know who the coaches of either of these teams are.
Oh yeah, just a side note before we get too deep on this. My process for college basketball is I watch none of it until the last week leading up to March Madness. I like basketball on the whole, but one, obviously it's a time thing. It's a lot of time that you have to dedicate to that. But 2, I just enjoy like pretty much any tournament, and yeah, college basketball is also more enjoyable to watch, at least for me, than the NBA on the whole. The NBA playoffs are also fun to watch, but just enjoy playoffs. But we are by no means season-long observers of this sport.
No, not at all.
So definitely go with all of our picks. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. This game, I think, will mostly be inconsequential. Neither of these teams really has a chance of beating Alabama. They just aren't consistent.
I'm going with Maryland.
Yeah, I was going to say I'd pick Maryland here. West Virginia has just been a pretty suspicious team all year. Yeah, no reason to think that they were... West Virginia is a team destined for anything great in this tournament.
Oh, we might have our first upset on our hands the next game.
San Diego State against Charleston. So
I'm liking the 31-3, 80 points per game. Charleston.
Yeah, so Charleston puts up a lot of points. Unfortunately,
San Diego State have only lost 3 times since December 10th, though.
Yeah, and unfortunately for Charleston, this is a really bad matchup. San Diego State likes to play a slower form of basketball. They have a a significantly older team, so that usually, just more experienced, so they know how to play well in the tournament. They've gone to the San Diego State is a staple of March basketball.
I can't wait to look at this bracket later once it's just completely shat upon. Like down the road. I'm just thinking of this conversation.
Oh yeah,
being recorded.
Yeah, we'll probably do a retrospective or something. Maybe
like a quick episode
in April, just as like how well did our bracket do, just for fun. This episode's already mostly just going to be for fun anyway, but it's I have a feeling that we will not be correct.
I'm going San Diego.
Yeah.
Furman, though, the next matchup.
Yeah, just like as on the whole, these teams that aren't from the major conferences who have good offenses struggle against teams with good defenses. And so I imagine to play a closer game that's slower tempo, Charleston just won't stand a chance against a team with better, bigger, taller players. So yeah, what's next? Virginia and Furman.
Otherwise known as the Frauds.
Yeah, Virginia plays a really slow, really defensive, like way more so than San Diego State, a grindy form of basketball, which is painful to watch. It's antithetical to March basketball. It's antithetical to college basketball on the whole. It's really bad. I hate it. I always root against Virginia. Versus the Furman Paladins, who... This is the first time.
Yeah. The first time they're dancing in 43 years.
Yeah, so Virginia makes it every year, and Furman hasn't made it since the 80s, so... Basically since it's been a while, since just about the 70s. It was a completely different game back then, so there's no historical precedent for them to draw on. Yeah, I mean, Furman is a team that could very well win this game. I want to pick Furman just because I don't like Virginia. I think Virginia could get into trouble against them. It'll depend on what happens early in the game, which is rare because pretty much every March game doesn't even begin until the second half. It doesn't matter if you're down by 20. Everything is based on tempo, so it matters how you sort of go into the second half and then come out. But Virginia's not a team that plays well from behind, and Furman is a team that lives by the three and dies by the three. So if they hit enough threes in the first half, Virginia is not equipped as a big comeback team. However, they could come out, play really solid second half defensively, shut Furman down if they miss a bunch of threes, slow the pace down, grind it out, and then just shut this team down. That, Virginia is the better team. They definitely are more talented. Virginia probably wins in a close game, but I don't know.
I mean, I'm picking Virginia, but I'm not happy about it.
Oh, you don't want to pick Furman here?
In the past 4 tourneys, 12 of the 16 matchups between number 4 and 13 seeds were decided by single digits, including all 4 in 2022. Thanks, ESPN. Sure, let's go with Furman. It's a fun one. It's a fun ride.
They're a worse team, but I just don't have the heart to pick Virginia.
I'm also more likely to choose an upset where I think they would lose the next round anyway. So, I think San Diego State would beat them the next round anyway, but I'm going to try not to allow that.
Virginia definitely has a better matchup against them. I think Virginia beats San Diego State all day. Because they're better at doing something San Diego State likes to do.
So do you think Furman is able to overcome the slow pace of play?
Yeah, because they can play the game slowly. They just need to hit threes. So if they come out and hit, 30% of their threes in the first half, they're going to be up by 10 points. Because Virginia sits on the ball. They try to take all the time off the clock when they get possessions, which leads to low-scoring games. So if Virginia comes out slow and Furman comes out, if they get 10 minutes into the first half and Furman's shooting 30% from the threes, they're going to have 30 to 40 points. Virginia doesn't score that many points. They're going to be moving slowly, so they're going to be down 10 to 15. Obviously, there's a chance Furman just comes out sloppy. Virginia blocks a number of threes. They don't do well, and they just grind them out. And in that case, I think Virginia would have a good chance at beating a lot of these other teams, but I don't care. I'm putting the heart of the cards for Furman.
All right, let's do it.
Next one is Creighton and NC State, North Carolina State.
I am just happy that I will be able to watch this game because I am super, super about this matchup. Like on paper, this looks like it's gonna be a barn burner, I would say. To be clear, I also watched Creighton play last week at the Garden. I saw them play, and they the last few years they've been a team to really contend with. They just shoot so well from the three.
Yeah, Creighton has a number of things going for them in this game. Strangely enough, NC State had the better record overall.
Yes. Yes.
However, if you look at Creighton's losses, they're all against schools who are either in the tournament or were beating teams in the tournament. A lot of them are close games. So they've been competitive all season with clearly a more difficult schedule than NC State.
Yeah, but NC State also beat Duke and Miami.
Yeah, two teams that are kind of just above mid. They're historically good. This season, they're not especially great.
Yeah, I would say Miami's pretty good, but I feel like a 5 seed is pretty... I felt like they deserve something higher.
According to the math, Creighton is woefully underseeded.
I was talking about Miami, but Creighton is definitely underseeded as well. I think Creighton takes this one. Probably also biased because I saw them play.
I'm good with Creighton.
Baylor versus UC Santa Barbara. BPI rank 12th versus 124th. Well,
the Gauchos, the UCSB Gauchos.
Oh my god. The notable results is so funny.
Yeah, Baylor
UC
played.
Santa Barbara beat UC Irvine once, and they lost to them once.
Mm-hmm. They haven't had to play any top 25 teams.
So they're untested.
It seems like they had a pretty good season.
They also play a fraudulent style offense, it looks like.
Maybe.
Their efficient, slow-paced style is problematic. But they're on a roll with 7 wins. 7 straight wins.
3 seeds are
19-1.
Yeah, I think Baylor's a safe pick
Baylor.
here.
My computer is glitching out, so sometimes I try to click on it and it just chooses the wrong one. I just looked and I had selected AMCC SMO over Alabama accidentally. Here are the fun ones: the 7 and 10 matchup.
Yeah, these are all coin flips.
Oh god. Missouri versus is that Utah State?
Yeah, the Utah State Aggies.
The Aggies.
Yep.
How are they Aggies?
The Aggies, the Aggies.
They're an agricultural school?
They're the Aggies. I don't know where this mascot comes from. by all accounts, record-wise, metrics-wise, BPI-wise, Utah State is heavily underseeded.
Yeah.
Looks like they haven't really played that many great teams.
No.
They've played a number of teams who are in the tournament, including San Diego State, within the same section of the bracket as them, to whom they lost 3 times, which is not good.
Yeah, but you're forgetting that they beat Oral Roberts by 10.
They did beat Oral Roberts, whereas Missouri got beat the fuck up by Alabama multiple times, blown out by Kansas, easily bested by A&M.
Oh God, this line right here. Missouri is one of the tournament's worst rebounding teams.
Yeah, which is not good against a team that is pretty solid at rebounds.
I'm going Utah State.
Yeah, I want to pick Utah State here.
Let's do it.
And then...
and Arizona.
Yep.
Sorry, Princeton.
Yeah, Princeton's not a good team. They were lucky to have won the Ivy League.
I will be rooting for them, but yeah.
Yep, nothing more to look at there. Good at pushing pencils, not basketballs.
Oops. In the East, are these conferences? How do you want to signify these?
Yeah.
The East Wing.
The East section
Purdue.
of the bracket.
Purdue.
Yep, Purdue's an auto pick over Texas Southern or FDU.
All right. Yeah, I assume that's not Fairleigh Dickinson, but is it?
I don't know.
Or is it Fordham?
I don't know.
If it's Fairleigh Dickinson, that's like right by where I work.
I would never pick a 16 seed to win.
I'm just curious now. Anyway, then the one following, it is Fairleigh Dickinson. Damn. Wow, that's awesome. Good for them. Shout out to Fairleigh Dickinson. Over by Hackensack, New Jersey.
Right.
Memphis FAU.
This is actually a really good matchup between these two teams.
One that is completely untested for the most part.
That would be Florida. What is this? Florida Atlantic?
Atlantic, yeah.
Yeah, they've had success in the tournament before.
Yes. I think Petrine loves this team, actually, FAU.
Yeah, so Memphis... Memphis won their conference.
Yeah, they won out.
They were able to pretty handily beat Houston, who is one of the top teams in the country. They've been playing really well recently. I want to pick Memphis. I think Memphis is good. It wouldn't surprise me if Florida Atlantic won.
They do not rebound well defensively.
Yeah, that's what ESPN tells us. But the fact that I caught part of those games, I know is a lie, because Houston is like number 2 in the country at rebounding, and they beat them in the rebound game twice within the last week. So whatever ESPN thinks, I don't believe. We're basically going off ESPN's like color commentary of describing the teams, which is usually fallacious, if not outright incorrect.
Well, it probably goes throughout. They just look at the numbers based on the entire season, as opposed to just looking at like the last month, which is, in my book, what you should look at is like how the team is gelling in like the last month.
Right.
How they're playing. This is probably like my, I would say 14th, 15th time filling out a bracket, and that's usually what I try to do. Is look at a team, over the past month to 2 months. Who are we feeling here, Memphis?
Yeah, I'm going with Memphis.
They've got the hot hand right now. I do think the game is probably going to be like, within 5 points.
Oh, yeah. Not surprised me at all if Florida Atlantic won.
I chose Duke for the next one over Oral Roberts.
Yeah, Oral Roberts, stupid name, won't pick them.
All right, a fun one. The Tennessee Volunteers versus the University Louisiana Ragin' Cajuns. I'm surprised they're allowed to have that name.
Who would stop them?
The Cajuns.
Who?
The Cajuns.
They don't care.
I guess they're fine with it.
They're busy doing meth.
Oops. They're an elite rebounding team. Nice. But this team struggles to cash in easy points at the free throw line. All right. Well, they did lose to Drake by 12. I think I'm going to have to go with Tennessee here.
Yeah, Tennessee is another one of those defensively suffocating teams.
All right. Kentucky versus Providence.
Providence.
I saw Providence play also.
How'd they look?
They were streaky. That's what I would say.
ESPN says this is not your older brother's Providence team.
Uh-oh. And?
Then a bunch of nonsense about how they're really efficient on offense. However, Providence has struggled against teams that are strong from the perimeter, and they're 1-5 when they've lost the rebounding battle. And guess what it says about Kentucky? Kentucky is one of the tournament's best at out-rebounding opponents and scoring from the paint. So ESPN is just outright saying that Kentucky has a very favorable matchup over Providence.
Yeah, that checks out.
Yeah, is their coach still that guy?
That guy.
You know, the guy that was there for years and won multiple national championships and is always one of the best coaches in the world.
At which
Kentucky.
which school? Oh, Calipari?
Yeah.
Calipari?
Is he still there?
I don't know. It's probably worth knowing.
All these coaches change every 3 years because they get in trouble for all the illegal shit they do to recruit players.
I think he's still there.
Well, I'm picking Kentucky. They appear to have the advantage.
Yeah.
According to these ESPN metrics.
Kansas State
Versus Montana State. Mm-hmm. Yeehaw.
Oh boy.
Kansas State is clearly the more talented team.
Mm-hmm.
They did not do particularly well in the Big 12 tournament. They lost to West Virginia, who we already eliminated from the bracket. They do have a win over Baylor.
Kansas
recently.
State. Moving on.
Oh, okay.
Michigan State versus USC. I don't want to get too bogged down with these unless something like really stands out, honestly.
Fair enough. Yeah, the Spartans and the Trojans.
Like you said, it's clear that they wanted this matchup.
Mm-hmm.
Sparta versus Troy.
Yeah, this one is a complete coin flip.
Yeah. Michigan State.
Honestly, I'm tempted to pick USC as a slight upset here.
Can you twist my arm?
Michigan State has not played well against good teams, which leads me to believe that it's unlikely they would succeed even if they won this game, which makes me not want to even advance them. They do have that Izzo guy still, maybe.
Izzo, yeah.
I think.
Yes.
We can just advance Marquette while we're down here. Marquette is playing Vermont, which is a very good team against a team that I didn't even know played basketball.
Oh yeah, I already chose them. Yeah, let's go with USC. Slight upset.
Yeah, USC I just view as having a higher upside, whereas I just don't see this Michigan State team winning more than one game anyway.
Yeah. Okay, UCLA over UNC Asheville.
Uh-huh.
I also have Northwestern Wildcats beating the Boise State Broncos.
Huh?
I'm not
you
even
moved the whole way to the bottom of the bracket.
Oh, you wanted to go to the Midwest? Sorry.
No, it just must be the way it's displaying it for me. Yeah, it has the Midwest for me next.
All right, let's go to. No, I was just scrolling over because we were already down here.
Yeah, Houston versus Northern Kentucky. Houston losing would be tens of millions of dollars lost. A crazy upset, so not going to go with that. Iowa and Auburn.
Oh, God.
Auburn actually has a really good mathematical matchup here. For some reason, the math is on their side.
How so?
They just have higher scoring players, like better team efficiency. But Iowa is a really good offense, just like a lot of the Big Ten teams.
Yeah.
Auburn started the season 16-3 before finishing 3-8.
Jesus.
I guess there was something in between that where they were just like dead even.
Honestly, I'm going Auburn.
Yeah, I'm happy with picking Auburn here. Miami versus Drake.
Miami.
Not Drake?
Nope.
Wow.
You used to call me on my cell phone. Hung it up.
You used to call me on my swamp phone.
Oh no. None of that.
Indiana versus Kent State. So Indiana is definitely a good team.
Yes. Jackson Davis is a problem.
Yeah, they got he's
ESPN did misspell Hoosiers though.
Yep, this is ESPN, they're hacks. They're not good at their job.
Oh, they misspelled it twice. They spelled it Hoosiers.
Hoosiers.
And then they spelled it with an I before the S. Yikes.
Oh, brutal.
That might be a sign.
Not to pick them?
Yeah, we may have to go with the Golden Flashes.
There's no world where I'm not advancing Indiana here.
Yeah, I know.
They're like, they beat Purdue twice. Like, Purdue has only lost 5 games this season.
Yes.
2 of them were to this team.
Oh no, why did they do this to us? The play-in game?
Yeah, so a play-in game. Are we going to pick between whoever wins Mississippi State Pittsburgh or Iowa State Cyclones?
Corn-fed.
Iowa State defensive team.
I usually just advance the team that doesn't play in, and then I look back at the matchup after it's decided. So, Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's fair. So, depending on who wins that game, maybe one of those teams looks good and we don't pick them, but
All right, let's look at the next one, but let's just take a pause. And we are back with the Texas A&M Penn State matchup. Sorry, we skipped Xavier, Kennesaw State.
Yeah, it's Xavier's better in every metric. Probably the best offense in the tournament against a team with no real strengths. So, for Xavier to lose, they would have to play the worst game of their season, and Kennesaw State would have to play their best. So it's possible, but 99999 out of 1000000 times, Xavier's winning. So
I did watch Xavier play in the Big East tournament. They came back against DePaul. I believe is who it was against.
Unfortunately, DePaul is not in the tournament, so that's not good for Xavier. But
no, but they were. Yeah, DePaul was winning the whole time, and then Xavier just turned it up.
All right, Penn State, Texas A&M, my own alma mater.
Yeah, I was gonna say the team that is closest to you, and also the school you graduated from. Yeah, I mean I went with Penn State.
Yeah, both these teams are playing really well. They both peaked at the right time. This should actually be a really good game. It's a shame only one of them gets to go on, and it'll probably be A&M. But yeah, I'll pick Penn State. I'll humor him for one game.
Because then they have to play Colgate. You mean?
Yeah, because then Texas is going to beat the winner of that game by 30.
Yeah.
Or just choke and lose to Penn State in a hilarious Texas fashion.
That would be incredible if Penn State beat Texas. Yeah.
Yeah, Texas.
Yeah, Texas plays Colgate.
Yeah, that's no hope for Colgate.
Texas is probably going to wreck them. All right, moving to the West. The West Wing.
All right.
Kansas, Howard. Kansas.
Yeah, sorry, Howard. You just don't stand any chance at all.
Arkansas, Illinois.
The Razorbacks and the Fighting Illini. Before they're no longer called the Fighting Illini.
Are they changing their name?
It's a Native American thing, and historically those are all going away. So at some point they will become something else.
The Corn Shuckers.
Maybe.
The R, a strong second. ESPN, you gotta read what you write.
No, they don't. They don't. They've always been this bad at it, and people still use the website.
Yep. Just a poor lesson for my students. Spelling doesn't matter. Grammar doesn't matter.
It is fun to read. Illinois struggles offensively and are among the worst 3-point and free throw shooting teams in the land, which is enough for me to never take them to win any games.
Right.
That being said, Arkansas is bad against quality opponents. They're 20-13, so they have lost a lot of games.
One might say they're used to losing.
Yeah. Opponents with tight zone defenses have been a problem. So this is a bad matchup for Arkansas. I mean, I watched Illinois play badly and lose to Penn State specifically because they couldn't hit threes and because they couldn't shoot free throws, which are two things you need to do to win several games in this tournament. So yeah, I have no problem picking against Illinois.
All right. I couldn't tell you which one I was going to choose, but St. Mary's. I love St. Mary's logo. It looks so cool. St. Mary's.
The Gales.
Versus VCU. Oh boy. classic VCU Cinderella squad.
Yep. And St. Mary's, yeah, I have no problem picking VCU here. I don't like St. Mary's. not as a school. I don't like the way this team looks.
They struggle. The VCU struggles taking and making 3-pointers, except for one guy, David Shriver. Apparently, is just a force to be reckoned with. One might even say, "Oh, he's not a Gale. He's a Ram." Yeah, let's go with it. Let's go with VCU. Oh boy, UConn and Iona.
That was definitely a bad pick, but I like VCU.
Holy shit, Rick Pitino is the coach of Iona?
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy. This would be an impressive win for Iona.
Yeah, UConn is like severely underranked.
Yes.
BPI has them 6th best team in the country.
Yeah, let's go with UConn. All right, TCU versus ASU Nevada. Let's just advance TCU. Obviously, we may have to amend that later.
Yeah, when Arizona State destroys Nevada, I'm going to put them over TCU.
Oh, okay. Let's just do that now.
Well, not unless if Nevada wins, it's TCU all day. But if Arizona State wins, which I think they will.
All right, so TCU for now.
Yeah.
Gonzaga, unfortunately, is going to wreck Grand Canyon University.
Yeah, what the heck, Grand Canyon University?
Well, Gonzaga still has Drew Timme, and he is a problem.
Timme. I don't even know who that is, but...
He's the stash man.
Yeah, I mean, Gonzaga is they're a good team.
Yes. Yeah, Gonzaga. And then down here, I have Northwestern and UCLA. I don't even want to talk about Boise State.
Boys?
Yep, boys.
Alright, so we basically have very few upsets so far. Let's go back to the top and dig back in.
Huh.
This is where I usually lose my mind when making brackets and just start to make crazy picks.
Uh-oh.
I'm gonna...
Do you want to switch some of these upsets?
No. No, I'm good with the picks we made so far. I'm just saying I'm about to make some very debatable arguments.
I think Creighton beats Baylor.
Oh yeah, Creighton beats Baylor all day. I have no doubt in my mind about that.
Alabama versus Maryland.
Yeah, Maryland's garbage. They were lucky to... The team that wins this game should get destroyed by Alabama.
Okay.
The real interesting one is whether or not San Diego State is good enough to beat
if they have
Furman
to match up versus the Paladins.
Furman's most quality game was losing to Penn State. It's going to be San Diego State for me.
How dare you pick against the Paladins? Oh, Utah State though.
Oh yeah, I don't know. Utah State could be the one here. No, I'm gonna pick Arizona over the Aggies.
Experienced group, yeah. Okay.
So this is where I get into trouble because my gut tells me that Memphis is just better than Purdue.
Yeah, but they don't have a 7'4", 305 pounder.
No, they don't have anyone like that. Yeah, I mean, Purdue is the better team. Been dominant all season. Should be able to handle Memphis.
Yeah, I don't think Memphis is the team to take them down.
No.
Duke and Tennessee. Good God.
Yeah, Tennessee is like the defensive team to beat.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yeah,
wow, yeah.
and
their BPI is second. Good God.
yeah, because they're like they control the flow of the game, and Duke is a really bad team at scoring points. Like they're
all right, Tennessee.
They're kind of just not efficient with the ball, which makes the matchup against Tennessee very poor.
Kentucky, Kansas State. Oh yeah, I just advanced Tennessee.
Yeah, same.
Oh boy. This one looks like it's gonna be tough.
I'm actually going to pick Kentucky here.
Yeah, based on the qualitative summary provided by ESPN, I will also go with Kentucky.
It's the coach's first season, and a lot of the times a coach can be a huge difference just in terms of game management, keeping players invested and motivated.
I said USC would fall on their sword. Marquette beats them.
Okay, fair enough.
The Midwest wing.
Yep, Houston beats Auburn every day.
Miami, Indiana. That will be a game. Indiana beat Purdue twice. Damn. But they lost twice to Northwestern. So, yeah.
It's because Northwestern... Yeah, Northwestern's a good defensive team, and Miami is not. Miami is, we're going to score a lot, and you're going to score a lot, and hopefully we score more, which is a bad matchup for them against Indiana. I also think Drake might just beat Miami, so.
Do you want to switch it?
No, I'm fine with picking Miami. I'm just saying I like Indiana over both those teams, so.
Sounds like we should pick Drake then.
Yeah, you know what? Screw it. I'm picking Drake.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, Iowa State. I just clicked Xavier. Just.
Yeah, Xavier is a problem. They close out games pretty well,
and they score a lot of points.
They're so clutch.
Iowa State is a defensive team, but yeah, I don't know. Iowa State's not good at keeping up, so if Xavier turns the gas on for 10 minutes at any point in the game, they will lose. So here we've got our first really tough matchup. Penn State versus Texas. On paper, Texas wins by an average of 30 points every game without any trouble. But intangibly, I went to Penn State. So,
number 2 seeds are 9-1 against number 10 seeds.
And I mean, Penn State really is not that good. They were lucky to be in the tournament.
Don't you dare disrespect Seth Lundy like that.
Yeah, that's
49th BPI rank versus 5th.
Yeah, that's going to be a Texas pick for me.
Yeah, I think so. Okay.
Oh boy, I so badly want to pick Arkansas over Kansas.
Arkansas. Arkansas versus Kansas. Oh God. Do we call them fraudulent?
Kansas or Arkansas?
Kansas.
I think we go hog wild and pick Arkansas.
Yeah.
The Razorbacks.
I mean, ESPN did put their classic start to the summary. It's a block party for the Razorbacks. One of my favorite starts that they have. All right, that's our first pretty large upset.
Well, yeah, one of the
for a 1 seed.
I don't know. Kansas has been kind of suspicious all season.
Well, it depends if they have Bill Self or whatever his name is, their coach.
Oh, yeah.
His last name is Self.
Yeah.
VCU versus UConn.
I'm going with the Huskies.
Yeah. Okay. TCU Gonzaga. Gonzaga.
Yeah, it's. I mean, Arizona. If Arizona State gets through, it's going to be ASU all the way. But Northwestern and UCLA.
UCLA has an injury.
Yeah, I don't like it when teams have injuries.
They do have a guy named Tiger, though.
Nah, I'm going with Northwestern.
Better not be. That seems fraudulent.
I don't know, when teams have a
If
good
you're
player
going with
injured,
you're going with Northwestern, but not Penn State.
No, I'm going to pick UCLA. Northwestern.
This team lost to Penn State twice.
All right.
I think UCLA will be fine.
Yeah, probably. All right, back to the top.
Oh boy.
This is where things get
San
wild.
Diego State.
Yeah, Alabama is the better team. I don't think they have any problems here. However, in this next matchup,
All right, so Alabama.
yeah, I'm going with Creighton.
Okay.
I'm putting all my faith into the Blue Jays.
Yep.
Not.
I mean, to be clear, I watched Creighton play and Xavier play, and both of them are just really fun teams to watch, and they just turn up the Jets. Like, they just turn it up.
Yeah, I mean, they could lose in a shootout to Baylor. They could lose in a shootout to NC State, but I got faith in them, and I don't have a lot of faith in the Pac-12 teams. So
Yeah, well, Arizona won the Pac-12 tournament, so they're going to be tired.
exactly.
Just rationalizing our way through this.
Meanwhile, Arizona's like unambiguously the strongest offensive team in the tournament.
Are they?
Yeah. They have a really, really high completion percentage for baskets. They're really good at getting rebounds. They pour point when it rains, it pours with them. They just always slam points in. But they are not a deep team. Like, they just don't have a bench that they play. And since their starters are all exhausted from beating up the Pac-12, I like Creighton.
Yep. Easy pick. Tennessee beats Purdue.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, get out of here, Purdue. You have no chance. They're going to be lucky to make it past Memphis.
Kentucky Marquette. I think this one's Marquette only because of... Oh, God. This one's going to be... It's going to be close, actually. The Golden Eagles. I'm going Marquette.
I think Marquette, in a head-to-head, I think Kentucky is actually better. But it's less likely Kentucky makes it there because, they're going to have to play Montana State, and that's going to be a tough game. So, yeah, I'll take Marquette.
What? Montana? We chose Kansas State.
We did,
Montana
but
State.
that's a pipe dream. Montana State is the team to beat.
They only have one loss since mid-January. Are we flipping that pick?
No.
All right, back up to the top here. Houston, Indiana.
Going Indiana. We may have just...
To upset the number one.
Yeah. Screw them. They lost to Memphis. Houston got blown out by Memphis. Screw them. Against a good defense like Indiana.
Who's your daddy? The Hoosiers. Xavier versus Texas.
I'm going Texas. I think Texas looks good. Although Xavier, could just outscore them.
They're just a tough team.
Xavier or Texas?
Xavier. I mean, not that Texas isn't. God, I don't want to take that away from them.
Texas...
Damn, Texas beat Gonzaga by 19.
Yeah.
They did lose to Illinois by 7.
Illinois, they're a scrappy team.
They struggle from 3. Texas does.
That's... Yeah, they don't score from the 3.
All right, Texas. Arkansas, UConn.
Yeah, UConn easily. Arkansas is a terrible team. I don't even know how they made it this far, but...
Okay. Gonzaga, UCLA.
Oh, Zags. Easy Zags. UCLA won't even advance past the first round.
Okay, so let's recap for everyone. Because we will post our bracket as well so you can look at it, and if you don't choose to listen to this, but our Elite 8 is Alabama Creighton, Tennessee Marquette. I'm sorry, let me go back with the numbers. Number 1 Alabama, 6 Creighton.
Yep. Nothing surprising yet.
4 Tennessee, 2 Marquette.
Very usual.
4 Indiana, 2 Texas.
Definitely 2 bad picks.
And 4 UConn, 3 Gonzaga.
That's one of those is solid.
Do we want to amend the Indiana-Texas matchup?
No, like Houston.
Okay.
Houston is a huge favorite overall to win. So the safe thing to do is just put Houston in the championship every time.
Right.
Like if you're trying to make a good bracket, the number 1 overall team, you just put them in the final. You don't even think about it. You just favored to win. There you go.
All right, so that's our Elite 8. Just to recap for you, if you couldn't keep track.
Because I have been basically lying about which teams have advanced.
There have been some shady sentences. Alabama Creighton.
It's not going to be Creighton. Creighton's not making the Final Four. There's no world where that happens.
I really wanted to pick them.
No,
Bama.
they're just not very good.
Bama. Tennessee Marquette.
I mean, how did Marquette even get this far? I'm gonna go with Tennessee.
Okay.
2 SEC teams.
Oh, bother. I mean, Tennessee is pretty highly ranked, yeah. Okay. Indiana versus Texas. This is a flip.
I'm gonna say Texas. I think Texas has an easier time getting to this stage and a better matchup against Houston. So all things considered, I think Texas is more likely. Like Indiana could easily lose their first game. They could easily lose to Miami or Drake. They should lose to like if you go back and look, I think it's way more likely that Texas gets here.
All right, UConn and Gonzaga, the matchup we've been waiting for.
I'm going with UConn because I almost never pick the Zags, which has burned me repeatedly since they have done well a lot recently in the tournament.
They score 87.5 points per game.
Gonzaga, uh-oh.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
They beat Alabama by 10.
Yeah, but they lost to Purdue by 18, Texas by 19. They lost to Baylor. They lost to St. Mary's. Embarrassing losses.
They beat Xavier, though.
Yeah, but if you look, UConn has the higher BPI rank.
Yeah, on paper they win.
Yeah, but on paper...
7.5 points per game is a huge problem.
But on paper, Houston is the clear favorite, so that's... I don't know. I mean, good offenses do usually win the tournament, but we already have Tennessee in the Final Four, so... I don't know. I guess maybe I don't feel that... Like, I feel like I've been burned by Gonzaga so many times that I should pick them to advance, but this will be the year that they decide to just out and drop it to Grand Canyon.
Oh.
I'll pick Gonzaga. You know what? Let's send Gonzaga through.
Oh, God. This one is so tough. This one is tough to call. Because, like, the way that I'm thinking about it is the Achilles heel for this team is foul trouble. Talking about UConn. Yeah, they frequently send opponents to the line, and I just feel like they're going to foul the shit out of Timmy.
They're not going to be winning with, like, 10 minutes left in the game, so yeah, it's going to be foul trouble.
All right, Gonzaga. So, Final Four is 1 Alabama, 4 Tennessee, 2 Texas, and 3 Gonzaga. Oh, God.
I am starting to regret not having Houston here, but...
Do we want to flip it to Houston versus Gonzaga? Indiana beating Houston is
wrong.
Very,
wrong.
very bold. I don't think that's
going to happen. Never going to happen. No, yeah.
All right.
I'll throw Houston through to the... Yeah, it just... Indiana did just lose to Penn State.
Yes.
They're not that good.
They have a few good players, but
I don't know. It's tough because when you have like one NBA level talent, they can just take you deep in this tournament.
Yep. Yeah. So do we want to flip Texas to Houston or just leave it?
I still want Texas.
Okay, that's fine. So between Alabama and Tennessee.
Alabama. These teams have actually played each other multiple times. Actually, just once. And Tennessee won that game.
Alabama beat Houston by 6, by the way. Mm-hmm. Damn. They did lose by 10 to Gonzaga, though.
Yep.
Then they lost by 15 to UConn.
Yeah. It's almost like...
Tennessee beat Bama by 9.
It's almost like I made a lot of these decisions based on who Alabama lost to through the season.
Which means this bracket is fraudulent.
No, it means Alabama's going all the way.
Oh, boy.
You heard it here first. Gonzaga, Alabama final.
Gonzaga beats Texas?
Yeah.
You were so keen on Texas and not on Gonzaga.
Yeah, and now I've gone real soft on Texas. Once Gonzaga gets this far, the ball's just rolled too much. It's not about logic, it's about how you feel through the process. So all of that hype I had for Texas is gone.
Texas already beat them by 19.
That was months ago. That was basically when Trump was still president.
All right, Bama Gonzaga. Bama.
Yeah, I'm going with Bama.
All right, what's the score? What are we putting in as the score?
83-78 Bama.
That will never happen. That is way too high.
Shootout. Kablamo.
No.
They're going toe to toe.
60. That is fantasy.
It's going to be a shootout. The worst defense ever played.
I'm typing 65-60. That is a
I'm
crazy call.
definitely going 10 points above you.
That's fine.
These teams don't play defense. That's also why neither of them is making the final, but
I'll give you 70-65. Historically, I could be this is just me talking out of my ass, but in the final, nerves obviously play a factor and they don't score as high efficiency. All right, I'm submitting the picks. Uh-oh. Gotta fill this out. What?
Yeah, I'm not filling it. You have to fill that shit out if you want to send it in to be a part of like sweepstakes sponsorships.
All right. Well, that should just about do her. So once again, we've got Alabama versus Gonzaga.
Yeah.
Hopefully,
the Elite Eight: Alabama, Creighton, Tennessee, Marquette, Houston, Texas, UConn, Gonzaga. Get out of here, UCLA.
Hopefully you enjoyed this episode. I'm sure this will age really, really, really well. Like we said, this will be fun to look back on. I'm sure we will. I'm sure we'll take a look at this again. All right.
So you're aware, I'm going to go through the scores of the last 10 championship games.
Okay.
72-69, 86-70, 85-77. Right. That was an OT game with fucking Virginia. 79-62, complete blowout. 71-65, 77-74, 68-63, 60-54, 82-76, 67-59, 53-41.
I remember that one.
Get destroyed, Butler, and then 61-59. Yeah, Butler, a couple attempts there with failures.
So what I'm hearing is the point totals have been getting higher.
Kind of, not really.
So what should I put in? Because I put 70-65.
That's pretty consistently how it is. It's usually the winner needs about 75 points, and the loser usually has like somewhere in the mid to high 60s. If you go back like long enough, like back in the 80s were actually even lower scoring because I think defense was a bigger thing. But in the 70s, they were scoring like 90. And if you go back further than that, there are games where it's like hundreds of points. Like,
what?
Yeah, just no defense.
Damn.
Actually, no. It looks like no one's ever broken 100. Wow.
Actually, I will put the question on. I will put the question on this episode. Who's winning it all? We'd love to see your response in the comments. That should wrap it up. I'll post this today.
Cool. All right, signing off.
All right, everyone. Have a good one.